Looks like we're recording. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Downing. Today we're going to cover the course syllabus for Journalism 1 for spring 2026 semester. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Get things situated on the page. Okay, should be good. Here is the course syllabus. It's available in a couple of different places on D2L for sure, and I usually put it on the Google Drive as well. So let's dive in. I'm Dr. Michael Downing. This is Journalism 1. See if I can highlight here. Yeah, there we go, kind of. Kutztown University of Pennsylvania, spring 2026, Tuesday and Thursday from noon until 1:15 is when the class meets in RL, Rohrbach Library 17. Contact information. My office is in Old Main, 438 Old Main. In-person contact is best, either in my office by appointment or in the classroom before or after class. I often allow time at the end of class in case you need to talk. Give me a heads up prior to the class session, and I'll let everybody go and give us, 5 or 10 minutes, whatever the situation requires within reason. My email address is downing@kutztown.edu. My office hours are Tuesday and Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 and Wednesday from 9:30 to 12:30. Other hours by appointment. If we cannot meet in person, Zoom is an option, but in person is preferred. Course description. This is an in-person class. Journalism 1 focuses on the fundamentals of news writing and reporting, including the First Amendment, interviewing human sources, conducting research, meaning reading, implementing Associated Press style, adhering to the inverted pyramid and the 5 W's and the H, as well as developing skills in image literacy and extremely basic video production. I know that's a lot to take in, but that's what I need to build into the course description. The course stresses talking to people and clearly expressing the facts of any situation in a balanced way. The training includes audience awareness, context, tone, quotations. Context and tone should look like this. Yes, quotations, introducing sources, along with careful editing, accuracy, and some technical skills such as file management, photography, internet research, exploration of various media. So it's a jam-packed class. A major focus of this course is exploring current events. So students should prepare to read dozens of articles from various news sources in order to enable and prepare for classroom discussion and the development of written comments and responses. So the idea there is we're going to be talking about current events as much as we're going to be doing anything in this class. More on that later, but be ready. Course materials, the syllabus, timeline, course handbook, gradebook, and links to publications are all available on D2L. I will take you through that at the right time. Other materials such as models are available on the Google Drive. Please know that Google Drive is where we develop drafts and where I provide global feedback. So a draft will be due on a day. I will preview it before I come into the classroom, and then I will open them on the big screen and we will click through, and you will have the experience of seeing what I see on my end. Excuse me. Final submissions go into the D2L Dropbox as PDFs. So the Google folder to cultivate and play in the sandbox with drafts. Once those are finished, you turn them into PDFs and you put them into the Dropbox on D2L. I'll take you through all of that. I'm not trying to make work for you. I'm just trying to create space where there is a sandbox to play and create, and then there is a locked down final version in case 2 years from now, we need to find evidence that you submitted the assignment. We'll be able to do that. I encourage you to put all deadlines from the timeline into your calendar. I will do a separate video on the course timeline. The syllabus is involved. That's why. Course rationale. Journalism skills not only take students into professional writing jobs, these skills are also readily transferable to numerous professions. Learning to write factually and succinctly, to consider multiple sides of a story, to interview and understand the perspectives of people from various backgrounds, to hit deadlines, to consider reader audience needs, to approach situations with a skeptical eye, to conduct research on various topics in an unbiased way, to understand the importance of photos, graphics, and images, and to create content for online and or print publications. All are useful skills for any professional. Again, I know that's a lot to take in all at once, but this is what we're doing in the class. And I hope that gets across. Even if you don't choose journalism as a career path, the ability to know how to talk to people, how to interpret information, how to manage a calendar, how to manage files in a shared folder, how to write clearly and factually will all serve you well professionally. This feedback has been given to me directly by professional people who had, in the past, taken a journalism class in college and recalled it as being useful. Course objectives, among other things. Let me bring that up. Students will attend class regularly. This is an engagement class. I will be there. You're expected to be there. And I'll say it here, I'll say it again, is don't think that you can miss class after class after class and then come in at the end and like submit all the assignments. The learning is not there. And let's not go down that path. So attend class regularly, complete course readings, complete assigned exercises, develop basic outreach and interviewing skills, follow basic AP style, develop an understanding of image literacy, complete drafts of assignments on time, and submit to Google folder named properly. Learn and follow basic in-house style from the Keystone newspaper. This is not going to be hard. It's a couple of things that I will teach you that I will expect to see in your articles and writing going forward. Submit final work on time to the correct folder on D2L, named properly. Read and discuss online journalism models, discuss current events in detail. Work on vocabulary and spelling skills. We do that through a handout. Create content that flows like water out of a hose. It's one of the phrases I'm known for. It's compelling, it's audience aware, is accurate, is closely edited, and anticipates the needs of the reader. Participate in peer review. Practice the ability to approach the world with a skeptical eye and a constant search for sources and factual verification. Submit completed assignments to the Keystone newspaper to build your writing portfolio. Complete a final 5-minute video project, and create a final writing portfolio. Okay, again, it's a lot. We're not going to do this all on one day, though. We've got 14 weeks plus a final exam session to get all of this down. How many? 28 class sessions, hour and 15 each. I think it adds up to around 40 hours to do all of these things. Here's the timeline. It is also available as a separate PDF in multiple locations. I'm not going to go through this now. It's too much detail to cover. Reading assignments. The subscriptions to the publications, the Atlantic, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal are all, the links are going to be posted, D2L. I will take you through that. You have subscriptions as a student to all of those, so you should be able to open them and start reading. There'll be other links posted on the Google Drive. Things emerge as we're in class talking, and I will often put those on the Google Drive going forward. Yeah. Attendance, participation, documentation, and accommodations. This is an in-person class. We will meet 28 times plus a final. Students are expected to be there for all of it. Class sessions are loaded with points and loaded with information. Let me scroll up. There's 2,645 points in this class. And all of these class sessions, it won't, it just wants to be highlighted. You'll see all these class sessions are loaded with points. So be aware of that. Come to class is loaded with points, loaded with information. Come to class, earn the points, get the info, hit all your deadlines. Absences will put you at a deficit that you cannot make up unless you have an accommodation letter or legitimate documentation. So beware. 8 or more unexcused absences in a Tuesday, Thursday class automatically converts to a failing grade. I cannot in good faith certify to the university completion of the course with that level of absenteeism. It'll show up in your work. There will be things that we have discussed in class, and I'll look for that in your work, and it won't be there. Basic stuff, like basic stuff. You just weren't there. Every semester, students try to do this, and it's always a battle at the end. So I try to push back against it as much as I can. I do receive accommodation letters directly from the university. If you would like to follow up with me in person, please feel free to talk before or after class or schedule an appointment. If you have an emerging situation, medical, familial, accidental, legal, I will work with you, but proper documentation is required. Acceptable forms of documentation include, but are not limited to, prescriptions, Dr. Dentist notes, vehicle repair receipts, legal papers, notes from parents. Other situations are handled on a case-by-case basis. I will support you, but communicate with me immediately and show me adequate rationale. Then there's a statement here from the KU Student Handbook about students assuming responsibility, and then there's a link to the KU Student Handbook. I'm not going to read all that to you now, but there is a student handbook. It's called The Key, and you can find it here or you can search for it. Yeah, so that does exist. The University Writing Center. I will require you to visit the Writing Center at least once, and ideally create a regular habit of visiting. It is a free service for students where KU students offer advice and assistance with writing assignments from any course or subject. Tutors can assist in improving the composing process as well as with difficulties with development, organization, style, documentation, and mechanics. And I've been trying to work with them little by little to master AP style. So you could work on that together for your obituary assignment. That would make sense. So the point here is that nobody writes in a vacuum. You get another set of eyes on your work. Yeah, the Writing Center is located on the main floor of the library. There's a phone number. There's a link. They are great and can help. Maybe some of you will end up working there someday. Take your work to them. Now, like one of the big things, right, in this day and age, it takes me back because just a couple of years ago in journalism class, I started talking about AI. And in one of the comments that we did, one of the students, I remember he was kind of baffled by it. He's like, I don't know why we spend so much time in this class talking about AI. Well, right. I mean, I'm a professional in the field, so I see what's coming, and here it is, right? And in fact, professionally, that's what I was trained to do when I used to write about technology. I was trained to look at what was coming, and then you write that into the publication, and then people want to read your publication, and you can sell ads attached to it, and all of that. That's how the game works. So, right, here we go. Course policy on the use of generative AI, and I need to add this to it. This include Grammarly and others. Okay. Grammarly has finally evolved. I've had my eye on Grammarly for a very long time, since its inception. And the help that it provided, it wasn't all that smart. It was, sort of a glorified spell check. But now that AI has been fully applied to it, they're trying to, right? They're trying to increase their subscriptions and their subscription rates and all of those kinds of things. Let me dive in. There are essentially three types of established academic policies related to the use of large language models in coursework: prohibited, negotiated/transparent, or permitted. The policy for this class is negotiated, and I want you to be transparent. Students may only use large language models in this class with the knowledge and permission of the instructor. I encourage experimentation, just don't hide it. Note, Grammarly is now a form of AI. If you intend to use it, please let me know. I want to know what it does. Don't hide it. So if you're saying, hey, Downing, I've written this news article and I want to put it through Grammarly or AI to see what the results would be. I want to know about that. I want to see what the results are. I want to see if AI is indeed capable of improving your work, and how. Is it going to reorganize things? Is it going to fix things? What's it going to do? So I want to be part of that, but don't you dare have AI write something and then put your name on it and submit it. That's not yours. That is clearly plagiarism, and I will fight you over that. Okay. Large language models can certainly serve as a tool in certain situations. For example, I asked it to put together a 28-day itinerary for a trip to Ireland, and it gave me a tremendous first draft. In that way, it serves as a good organizer and aggregator. It can also provide excellent fill-in-the-blank structure. It can also provide an excellent fill-in-the-blank structure for a resume. It's a good way to get started without using a restrictive template from Word. We'll talk about that when we get to resumes. Therefore, you can ask it to generate an essay. I don't think I want this in here. This is from my other class. So you can use it as a model then, but don't submit it. That's not your writing. I've made that point. Okay. So if you use it and I it is not your writing. Receive a paper. Okay, that works. Yeah, what happened is a little bit of my work from my other syllabus snuck in here from the composition class. I'm editing it out. You see what I'm doing? I'm reading my work out loud. It helps me to edit it. It's an old writer's trick. So to be clear, students may only use large language models in this class. I have only there, may use large language in this class only with the knowledge and permission of the instructor. Again, I want to know about your experience with the technology so I can guide other students. So don't fear reprisal. You'll create more problems trying to hide it. Plagiarism then here, according to the university, AI itself, remember that AI itself is a form of plagiarism. Large language models steal or scrape material from the web in order to sell that material back to us. And yes, there are emerging paywalls for AI use. Of course, there's going to be. The definition from Kutztown, plagiarism is the act of taking the work of others and presenting it as one's own without properly acknowledging the source. So, don't dump quotes, put sources in. I'll show you how to do that in the journalism class. You say according to, and then you can bring in the quoted information. Yeah, there are all ways around it. The penalties include a failing grade for the assignment, a failing grade for the course, temporary suspension, permanent dismissal. Hasn't happened to me for a couple of years, but when it does, it sucks. Now I have to behave like a lawyer and take actions against my students and file paperwork and bring it to the attention of the department chair and committee and the provost. And it goes all the way up. So let's not do that. The writings in this class are not long. I will show you how to incorporate sources. Don't just have AI reel off something and put your name on it. That will get us into deep trouble. The fix, mention your sources in your articles. Mention sources, mention sources in your articles and be clear when borrowing. The lesson in removing the use. Write your own work. Accommodations. I receive accommodation letters directly from the university. If you'd like to follow up with me in person, please feel free to talk before or after class or schedule an appointment. Fragrance. Please refrain. I've mentioned this elsewhere. I am terrifically allergic to fragrances, to human-made fragrances. So please refrain from wearing them in class. That includes sprays and lotions, and if you can avoid it, hair, shampoo and conditioners and products. I ask you this humbly as a favor to me. We'll talk more about this, but there are poisons, there are toxic chemicals that go into fragrances. It is very weakly the oversight, right, is not there. I've done a lot of research on this. I can present to you the chemicals that are in there for a variety of reasons. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, but let's try to keep it. So where am I at here? Our classroom is a fishbowl. I try to keep the air flowing. I have fans in there, but let's not make it worse. Save the scent for Saturday night, please. Also, there are students in class that I've noticed when somebody comes in. There was somebody that came in that would smoke a joint before he came into the classroom and would walk past me, just reeking to high heaven. So that goes on, and that somebody fell in love with patchouli smell once upon a time, and they were putting it on, and it was just way too much. It's not supposed to be, right? I'm not supposed to be able to smell it from 15 feet away. Okay, I'll stop. Title IX, Clery Act, mandated reportage. What does this mean? Okay, educators must report incidents of gender-based crimes, including sexual assault, sexual harassment, stalking, dating, violence, domestic violence. So what this means is if it sort of appears in your writing, I'm hoping not. The writing that we do in this class does not involve personal narratives, so you should not be confessing things to me. Twice in my time at Kutztown, I had students come into my office and sort of break down a little bit and reveal to me that they were under threat. And I say to them at that moment that you know that I'm a mandated reporter by federal law. I have to report this. And they say, I understand. And I stop them. I say, if you're going to say more, this has got to be reported, right? All of that. So that's the situation. You may hear this from other professors, but I'm a mandated reporter. And if you come to me saying that you're under threat, I have to let the university know. COVID and masks, we're almost there. Masks in class are optional, but encouraged during flu season. It's been a bad flu season too, so don't hesitate. Masks during in-person office hours may be required. I might put one on. I might ask you to put one on. Syllabus timeline is subject to modification. This is the last thing. Beyond this, we're just looking at resources. There may be times when we need to make certain allowances or modifications to the course syllabus and or timeline. I will discuss all changes with the class before implementing them. I will never add anything. I might switch something out where we say we're not going to do this, but this is what I want. So we'll talk about that. And there are other instances when we simply don't have enough time to complete certain assignment, and I propose that we simply drop them. I usually don't get much pushback on that. You see that I'll go through and I'll take out the extra spaces. Right, this is the last thing I have to say. 100 years ago, when I was in typing class in high school, I was trained to put 2 spaces after a period. And she was strict on that. She would whack you on the arm with her ruler. Different times. So I've learned that, and I still do it. So when I was a professional writer, I would have to do find and replace to get the extra spaces out after the periods, because in professional writing, in academic writing, it is still 2 spaces after the period, but in professional writing, it is just 1. And you see how I go through and try to do it. I should do the find and replace for the entire document. Okay, that's all I have. I'm going to stop my screen share at this point and say goodbye. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you soon.